What to do when someone publicly disrespects you? A Stoic perspective. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone made a tactless joke, sarcastic remark, or outright insult in front of others, leaving you hurt and feeling disrespected? These moments can trigger an instant emotional reaction. But hold on, did you know you can handle these situations with calm, intelligence, and even earn more respect by how you respond? This video offers you a different perspective, one rooted in Stoic philosophy, along with practical strategies to help you face disrespect while maintaining your inner strength and self-worth. Why do people disrespect you? Most sarcastic remarks or put-downs don't come from personal hatred. In reality, many people develop a habit of boosting themselves by tearing others down. They believe that making you look weak or uneasy makes them look stronger or more important. This behavior isn't limited to workplaces. It shows up in friendships, families, and everyday social settings. A Stoic lesson: respect can't be demanded. It must be earned through how you live. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Respect isn't something you force from others. It comes from how you treat yourself, how you act, and how you set clear boundaries about your values. When you remain calm, confident, and unaffected by cheap words, you send a powerful message. I know my worth. I won't let anyone diminish it. The goal isn't to fight back, but to build an environment where people don't dare to disrespect you. When you control your emotions and respond with the strength instead of anger, people take notice. They realize you are not easily shaken or manipulated. Gradually, you create an environment where others are compelled to respect you, not because you ask for it, but because you embody it. In summary, disrespect often stems from people trying to lift themselves up by putting others down. Respect cannot be demanded. It's earned through how you live and act. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control: ourselves. Calm, confidence, and inner strength that are the weapons that change how others see you. Build an environment where respect is natural, not something you have to fight for. In the next part of this video, you'll discover clear, practical strategies to deal with disrespect, not through outbursts, but through the quiet power of composure and self-mastery. And remember, respect doesn't come from how loud you are. It comes from how deeply people know they can't mess with you. 1. Make a strong first impression. The secret to earning instant respect. Have you ever walked into a room full of people, met someone for the first time, and within seconds, sensed that they were confident, capable, and trustworthy? That's the power of a strong first impression. And surprisingly, sometimes all it takes is a simple act like standing up and offering a proper handshake to earn someone's respect right away. In today's society, first impressions are still incredibly important. Whether you're attending a meeting, meeting a business partner, or just making casual conversation, the way you present yourself in those first few seconds will shape how others perceive you. According to Stoic philosophy, what you can control, your attitude, behavior, and actions, forms the foundation of your self-respect, which naturally leads to earning respect from others. Stand up, a small act with a big impact. One of the smallest yet most powerful gestures is simply standing up to greet someone. When someone walks over to shake your hand or say hello, and you stay seated or lazily extend your hand, you unintentionally send a message. I don't really care about you, even if that's not your intent. On the other hand, when you rise to your feet, make eye contact, and offer a confident handshake, you send a powerful signal. I'm present, I respect you, and I take pride in myself. This action shows initiative, readiness, and above all, self-respect. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Controlling the small things, your greeting, posture, and expression, is the first step in expressing that inner power, and people pick up on it instantly. Body language is your silent introduction. A weak handshake, avoiding eye contact, or a blank facial expression can all send signals of insecurity or lack of respect, and even lack of character. Meanwhile, strong body language, steady eye contact, and sincere presence make you come across as trustworthy, competent, and grounded. The beautiful part? You don't need to talk a lot or try to stand out. Powerful presence isn't about volume. It's about alignment between your attitude, behavior, and inner mindset. Stoics don't seek to impress with flashy words or tricks. They simply express who they are through consistent, composed action. A simple story, a powerful lesson. At a professional seminar packed with people networking, one attendee stood out, not because he was talkative or flashy, but because he stood up every time he met someone. Whether it was a CEO or a staff member, he'd make eye contact and offer a sincere handshake. That simple act, repeated over and over, earned him respect, without any effort to impress. People began to value him, not for what he said, but for how he carried himself. In contrast, another participant remained seated whenever someone approached. His handshakes were half-hearted, and he avoided eye contact. Though he was knowledgeable, he received little recognition or respect, all because of a habit that seemed minor. Respect yourself, and others will follow. If you want people to take you seriously and treat you with respect, start with small, intentional actions. Every time you stand up to greet someone, hold eye contact, and fully show up in the moment, you reinforce your own value. You don't need to prove it with words. Your actions speak for themselves. Making a powerful first impression isn't a natural-born skill. It's a habit you can build. By applying Stoic principles to daily life, you learn to control what you can, especially your actions and attitude. And when you respect yourself, others will have no choice but to follow. 2. When you're interrupted, respond with a calm yet steady gaze. In any conversation, being interrupted is something most of us have experienced. Whether in a meeting, a casual dinner, or even during a serious debate, someone may cut you off while you're speaking. That interruption often brings frustration, a sense of disrespect, or even hurt. But if you respond with anger, lose your composure, or try to talk over the other person, you risk losing respect, not just from them, but from everyone else present. So what should you do when you're interrupted? The answer is simple, yet incredibly effective. Stay silent and look directly at the person with a calm, unwavering gaze. This isn't just a subtle response. It's a powerful display of self-control, something highly valued in Stoic philosophy, where individuals are taught to master their emotions in any circumstance. Why does the gaze matter so much? Body language speaks louder than words. When you react to being interrupted by snapping back or becoming visibly irritated, you're unknowingly showing that the other person has the power to knock you off balance. But if you remain silent and simply meet their eyes, without anger or sarcasm, you send a clear message. I won't be dismissed. I know what I'm saying, and I won't be overshadowed by disrespect. Stoicism teaches us this fundamental truth. We cannot control the actions of others, but we can absolutely control our reactions. Responding to an interruption with composure is a mature, powerful act that shows you understand your own worth. The power of silence. Silence does not equal weakness. In many situations, silence is the most powerful form of communication. A quiet, calm, but firm gaze can make the other person realize their lack of courtesy. Even more, it makes you someone worth listening to. Picture this. You're in a meeting, sharing your thoughts, and someone suddenly cuts you off. Instead of reacting, you pause and keep your eyes on them. No challenge, no bowing down, just calm presence. That silence holds the room for a few seconds. The other person feels your presence, not loud, but undeniable, refusing to be diminished without raising your voice. One common mistake is thinking that to earn respect, you must push back hard when someone treats you unfairly. In truth, the wisest form of resistance is full control of your expression, your gaze, your posture. The Stoic doesn't act on impulse, but from principle. I won't let someone else define how I feel. Interruptions may be unintentional, but sometimes they're careless or even strategic, meant to dominate the space. If you respond defensively or angrily, you mirror their behavior. But if you stay composed, you declare, I'm not easily shaken. A real-life example, a deep lesson. At a professional panel discussion, a young female speaker was repeatedly interrupted by an older male colleague. Instead of reacting, she simply looked at him, Calm, steady, unfazed. She didn't rush to reclaim the mic or raise her voice. The room grew tense for a few moments, just long enough for everyone to notice. The colleague suddenly realized how rude he had been and backed off. She resumed speaking without needing to fight for her turn, but from that point on, everyone listened to her more attentively. Without saying a word, she reclaimed her space and earned deep respect through calm and full control. This shows us, calmness is not weakness, it's the peak of strength. In a noisy world, those who stay calm are the strongest. When interrupted, don't rush to react. Pause. Look directly. Let your eyes speak. No need for sharp words or a verbal tug of war. Your self-control will make others pause and reflect. Remember, respect is not something you demand through words. It's something you naturally receive when you show self-respect through your actions. 3. When a joke becomes an insult, respond with a calm that commands respect. We live in a society where jokes are sometimes used as a disguise for disrespect. Beneath the phrase, "I was just joking," often lies a hidden blade aimed at someone's dignity. And if you've ever been in that position, made the punchline of a joke, devalued just so someone else could get a laugh, you know it's anything but funny. So what should you do when you're the target of an offensive joke? The answer isn't to blow up in anger, nor is it to walk away in silence. The answer lies in one simple yet powerful act. Ask them to repeat what they said, calmly and without a change in expression. Why is this response so effective? When someone makes a joke to insult you, they're usually fishing for an emotional reaction: anger, embarrassment, or hurt. The stronger your reaction, the more control they feel they have gained. But when you stay calm, look directly at them and say, "Can you repeat that again?" You've flipped the power dynamic completely. That seemingly soft question has incredible impact. It forces the person to hear their own words again, but this time in silence, without laughter or backup. In that moment, they often realize how inappropriate, awkward, or even cruel their words actually were. You don't need to fight fire with fire. Calmness becomes your strongest shield. Stoic philosophy teaches us this: we can't control others' actions, but we can absolutely choose to protect our own dignity. You have the right to be respected and the responsibility to defend it. When an offensive joke is thrown your way, many people react with a forced laugh, brush it off, or ignore it. But that can signal to the other person that what they said was acceptable. Every time you let it slide, your boundaries are pushed back just a little more. On the other hand, getting angry isn't always smart either. It can easily lead to you being labeled as overly sensitive, humorless, or worse, emotionally unstable. That's why the wisest response is to stay completely in control. No anger, no loss of composure, just a question that holds up a mirror to the person who crossed the line. A real scenario, a lesson in composure. Imagine this: you're at a social gathering with friends, chatting casually, when someone in the group makes a joke about your appearance or your personal circumstances. Everyone laughs, but you don't. You don't laugh, you don't frown, you simply turn to them, meet their eyes calmly and ask, "Could you repeat that again?" The room quiets, the laughter stops, and the person, now faced with the task of repeating their own words out loud, hesitates. They might stumble, apologize, or try to change the subject. But no matter what, you've drawn a clear line. You didn't have to shout, "That wasn't funny." You didn't have to walk away with hurt in your eyes. You simply made them confront their own behavior and feel the discomfort of it. Dignity, no one can take it unless you give it away. At the core of this approach is the ability to protect your dignity without losing your calm. You don't become a victim, nor do you become aggressive. You become the one in control, firm, centered, unshakable. The Stoics believe dignity is something no one can take from you unless you surrender it through weak emotional reactions. So when you're insulted, let your calmness be what makes them uncomfortable. An emotional counterattack only drags you into their game. But when you respond with serenity, a gentle question, and an unwavering gaze, you show a strength that outshines any comeback. Remember, a truly strong person doesn't need to raise their voice to earn respect. They make others pause with nothing more than well-timed silence. 4. Under attack, don't retaliate. Redirect the conversation. In everyday communication, there will be times when you're met with hostility. It could be a mocking comment, a sarcastic remark, or a deliberately hurtful statement. Most people react instinctively in these situations, with anger, defensiveness, or retreating into silence. But there's a different response, one that's unexpected, intelligent, and rarely used. Redirect the conversation with an unrelated question. Sounds odd? Picture this. Someone just took a jab at you in front of others, and instead of reacting emotionally, you smile gently and ask, "By the way, does anyone know a good place around here to get a sandwich?" The effect is like pouring cold water on rising tension. The attack loses momentum instantly. The attacker stumbles. The crowd disengages from the drama. And you remain grounded, in control, turning the situation with graceful wit. The power lies in not reacting the way they expect. People who attack, verbally or otherwise, usually have a specific reaction in mind. They want to see you hurt, rattled, or at the very least, uncomfortable. When you give them that response, you hand them the reins to your emotions. But when you reply with an unrelated question, as if their attack didn't even touch you, you send a loud, clear message. "I'm not playing your game." Why is this technique so effective? It disrupts the emotional current. An off-topic question breaks the flow of negative energy, cutting through the tension and throwing off the attacker's momentum. It keeps you in control. By asking a question, you take the lead in the conversation. You're no longer reacting, you're steering. It shows strength, not sensitivity. Instead of appearing weak or overly sensitive, you come across as calm, composed, and tactful. Someone who handles conflict with intelligence. It creates productive confusion. The attacker is caught off guard. They're unsure how to proceed because you've just exited the battlefield with unexpected elegance. A real-life scenario. Who's in control, you or them? Imagine you're in a meeting. You've just shared an idea and someone fires back with a snide, mocking remark. The room stirs with whispers. You could argue back, but that would only spiral into conflict. Or you could smile and say, "Speaking of which, does anyone know a quiet cafe nearby? I've been looking for a new spot to work from." Just like that, the insult fades. You've elegantly stepped away from confrontation while maintaining the poise of someone who knows exactly what they're doing. Stoic wisdom. No one controls you unless you let them. Thousands of years ago, the Stoics understood a powerful truth. Negative emotions don't come from others, they come from how we respond to them. When you master the ability to remain emotionally unaffected by provocations, you gain true control over your inner life. And this redirection technique, though it seems simple, is a remarkably powerful tool for maintaining that control without arguing, lowering yourself, or surrendering your dignity. Here are some redirection questions you can use. Lovely weather today, isn't it? Anyone have weekend plans? What's everyone's take on that trending movie? Know any quick but tasty dinner recipes? Any book fairs coming up? I'm on the hunt for some new reads. These seemingly casual questions gently interrupt the negative energy while showing you're calm, polite, and not easily shaken. So when attacked, be the one who shifts the wind. You can't stop others from criticizing or provoking you, but you can choose how to respond, not with anger or excessive passivity, but with composure and intention, guiding the conversation wherever you want it to go. In a world full of conflict and sharp words, sometimes an innocent little question can be your strongest shield, preserving both your calm and your self-respect. 5. Know when to walk away. The action of self-respect. In life, there are moments when you realize you're not being valued, whether it's in toxic relationships, unfair work environments, or conversations where you're constantly belittled, either openly or subtly. Many people choose to stay, hoping things will improve one day. But when the disrespect becomes a pattern, staying silent isn't patience anymore. It becomes a betrayal of yourself. Stoicism teaches that your worth doesn't need to be shouted to be real. Sometimes the most powerful way to affirm your value is to simply walk away, calmly, decisively, without anger or long-winded explanations. Walking away, it isn't running away. It's a conscious decision. Some may say walking away is weak, but the truth is the exact opposite. Only those who are strong have the courage to leave places that no longer align with their values. Staying in a relationship filled with contempt solely erodes your confidence. Staying in a job where your contributions go unnoticed only drains your energy and self-worth. Staying in a conversation where you're consistently put down is a silent admission that you don't deserve better. Walking away quietly without drama or resentment is a true act of self-respect and emotional intelligence. Stoicism and the principle of control what you can. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is this: focus only on what you can control. Don't waste your energy on what's beyond your reach. You can't control how others see or treat you, but you have full authority over whether you continue to allow it. Walking away doesn't mean you lack patience. It means you know your worth well enough not to accept being diminished any longer. The power of silence and decisive action. Instead of responding to disrespect with anger, arguments, or trying to prove yourself, a Stoic responds with silence and action. No yelling, no guilt-tripping, no desperate explanations. Just this: you walk away. And ironically, that calm exit makes you stronger than ever in the eyes of others, and more importantly, in your own eyes. When is it time to walk away? When your honest feedback is repeatedly ignored. When your presence is taken for granted, not appreciated. When disrespect and belittlement become normal in the relationship. When you feel like you must shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You owe no one your endurance. What you owe yourself is a life that honors your worth. How to walk away the right way. Stoicism isn't about slamming doors. Stoicism doesn't promote emotional outbursts. So when you leave, you don't need to cause a scene or leave wreckage behind. Withdraw with calm, no haste, no hatred. Clarity, no hesitation, no coming back because of outside pressure. Confidence, you know exactly why you're doing this, and you don't need to justify it to anyone. The way you walk away speaks volumes, that you know your worth and you don't need anyone else to define it for you. So remember, leaving isn't the end, it's a beginning. Some doors don't need to be slammed. Just a gentle close is enough to move you forward. And sometimes it's that very departure that opens up a new door, where you're respected, heard, and free to be yourself. Never forget, you don't have to stay where you're no longer valued, not because you're not good enough, but because you've grown wise enough to understand this. Your peace matters more than staying in places where you lose yourself. Join our community by subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell so you never miss a video. We'd love to hear your story, your successes, your struggles, and how you've overcome them. To take part, just leave a comment sharing your journey. And if you're not sure what to say, simply write, "I can do it," to let us know you watched this video to the end. Every bit of your engagement helps this community grow stronger as we learn, build resilience, and turn every challenge into an opportunity. This is Sage Life Lessons, where we learn together how to live wisely and stand strong in a chaotic world. Let's keep growing together, one day at a time.